tournament over the weekend.
And our Corey Brooks joins us a little earlier than usual now. Corey, kind of tell us what happened.
Well, it's crazy. Florida Gulf Coast is now finally on the map. In case you didn't realize it, there's a small state school just outside of Fort Myers in a place now known as Dunk City. 12,000 students total, including a group of surprisingly good basketball players. The Eagles just became the first 15 seed ever to make the Sweet 16. Adoring fans stayed up late last night to greet the team bus, bringing them back to campus after their flight home from Philly. The governor was in Fort Myers today and noted the Eagles' next opponent.
It would be great if either University of Florida or Florida Gulf Coast goes all the way. I will be happy with either one. I know down here would be great, a Cinderella team like Florida Gulf Coast winning all the way. So
Go Eagles! When in Rome, I guess. At least he ignored Miami. Eagles merchandise is a very hot ticket today, and we'll see if the team stays hot enough to survive the Gators. The Gators and Eagles will meet in Dallas as the late game on Friday night. I'll have more March Madness for you later in sports.
Thanks, Corey. Newberry, Florida is now the home of Nations Ballpark, the second largest park in the country. WUFT's Catherine Belton will tell us how the park will become the prime destination. We've been promising you a look at March Madness all show long.
Our sports anchor Corey Brooks joins us once again to get ready for that weekend recap.
Yeah, we're just a minute and a half away from your tour across the mad world of the NCAA tourney. We'll look at that team from Gainesville, who they're playing next, and maybe another team in the Southeast. You're not going to want to miss it, so stay with us. Happy March Madness and happy Passover. I'm Corey Brooks with a bunch of sports just for you. It was a sweet day for the Gator men's hoops team as they wrapped up the first leg of their Texas tour in the round of 32. Florida took on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the third round of the tournament. The Gophers dug themselves into a hole early, and Florida didn't let up en route to the 78-64 win. Mike Rosario led the way for the Gators with 25 points, going 6 of 9 from beyond the arc. Rosario got benched in Friday's game against Northwestern State, but obviously turned it around for the Gophers matchup.
You know, I was really happy personally for Mike. Because I don't think the last game for him was a game that he was probably too thrilled about. And I give him a lot of credit for bouncing back and coming focused and ready to play.
Meanwhile, the Gators enter a fairy tale in the making as the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles will be dancing in Dallas. Just to show you how unknown this squad is, after losing to the Eagles, the Aztecs head coach said that Florida State is a very good team. Cinderella and Drizella go to the ball at Cowboy Stadium, or the palace that Jerry built, Friday 2 hours before the clock strikes midnight. That's 10 p.m., folks. As for the only other SEC team in the round of 32, the song finally ended for Marshall Henderson and the Rebels as they fell to LaSalle last night, 76-74. LaSalle was exploring Ole Miss's defense all game, but it was the same old Marshall as he scored 21. It all came down to the last 2 seconds as Tyrone Garland hit the dagger and sent the Rebels home. The Explorers look to shock the world again as they take on Wichita State on Thursday. Over on the softball diamond, it was the same song and dance for the Gator softball team as Florida rode a walk-off home run to a series win. Last week, it was Lauren Hager with the final hit. This time, the homer came from senior Kelsey Horton, who powered Florida to the 1-0 win yesterday to cap the sweep. Also can't forget about Hannah Rogers on the mound, who got the 3-hit shutout. Next up for Florida welcomes in the FSU Seminoles on Wednesday. It wasn't so close, though, out at Donald R. Disney Lacrosse Stadium as Florida easily handled Ohio State 13-7. It was a defensive contest in the first half as the Gators went into the locker room up 3-1. But Florida came out firing in the second and locked up their first conference win of the year.
They are just a force to be reckoned with. They play the best game that they possibly can. It always seems to be against us. So, you know, we knew that it was going to be a tough competition, very physical, and I thought it lived up to all its expectations.
The Gators continue ALC play against number 14 Penn State noon on Saturday. And bringing it back to the hardwood because it's March and we know that's what you want. The Miami Heat put their 26-game winning streak on the line tonight as they head to Amway to take on the Orlando Magic. LeBron might have to knock them down without his wingmate Dwayne Wade as he's a game-time decision with a sore knee. Miami's coming off a win against Charlotte while O-Town continued their 6-game losing skid. Even worse, All-Star center Nick Vucevic is doubtful for the game and leading scorer Aaron Aflalo is out for the year. It all gets underway tonight at 7. So Florida Gulf Coast, such a small school, they had open tryouts before the year. Could you imagine if you could just walk up to the O-Dome and try out for the Gators?
Absolutely not. There would be so many people. So many people.
You know what, I have a personal tie to this story because I got my associate's degree from Florida Gulf Coast, and it's a very small school, but they're definitely doing big, big things. Now I get to decide whether I want to cheer for the Gators or cheer for the Eagles.
It's too bad they're not on the other side of the bracket. Then they could have met in the finals maybe, and you'd had a real rough one on your hands.
That would have been.
Thanks, Corey. More news after the break. Stay with us.